with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life. So you can't possibly respond to it. You're not sure of the meaning. And I'm going to continue hitting you because this is what comedians do.
We have all heard outrageous Hollywood stories before, but sometimes something explodes that reminds us the entertainment industry is not just ruthless, it can be deadly. And right now we are witnessing that kind of spectacle as Katt Williams rips back the curtain on a revelation so explosive and so personal that the line between a radio roast and a real-life vendetta becomes blurred in a way that sends chills through award-winning stars, according to Katt. The infamous on-air clash with Wanda Smith at Atlanta. V103 in 2018 was not just comedy, it was the opening scene in a script written by power players who play for keeps. What started as a normal roast quickly turned into something darker, and Katt revealed that the same weekend, someone tried to end him, not with jokes but with a real weapon pointed at his face caught on camera. There was no punchline and the audience gasped. Now,
if you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Sitgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
All we can do is look back, revisit the evidence, and ask the question, who wanted Katt Williams? Erased and why, 2 comedians sitting in a small Atlanta studio, trading sharp words, their voices echoing through the city, across the country, and even around the world. The producers had promised Katt Williams a safe space, a celebration of his Emmy, with no messy questions about his family or his past legal troubles. But within minutes, that promise was gone. Wanda Smith, who had spent 2 decades building her reputation, pushed and prodded until Katt fired back with venom that went viral before the commercial break. He mocked her jewelry with a shout-out to the Forever 21 necklace collection and joked that if you wanted Wanda's jewelry, you could pick it up at Sitgo or Quick Trip for $7.99 with a free car wash. The city roared with laughter, and social media lit up like wildfire. But while the clip
opposite way, you can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you and I'm never going to call you out of your name.
Racked up millions of views, the real story had already shifted outside to the parking lot, where the cost of public humiliation was no longer just a punchline, but a loaded threater is, where the intrigue gets even darker. Because according to Katt Williams, what happened on air was never just 2 egos clashing. He insists on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and later with Willie D, that the radio appearance itself was a setup he claims Wanda. Smith not only orchestrated the confrontation, but may have been working with others behind the scenes. Rumors in Atlanta. Comedy circles whisper that Wanda was acting as a Hollywood puppet, handpicked by industry heavyweights frustrated by Katt's habit of torching their secrets without a filter. Former road managers and ex-radio producers suggest the roast was bait, a carefully engineered trap designed to blow up Katt's career, or worse, Wanda, who had spent years building connections with everyone. From Def Comedy Jam insiders to Atlanta civic leaders may not have just been chasing ratings. Some believe she was part of a larger machine already in motion before Katt even stepped into the V103 lobby. The chill deepens as more details leak insiders. Point to her polished public image, her acting gigs with Tyler Perry, and her charity work with the Girls Stand Together project. But say the real story was unfolding backstage. 2 former V103 staffers, speaking anonymously, claim Wanda was under heavy pressure from big lay money to boost the show's profile at any cost. And as Katt rose higher, gaining attention for his raw, unfiltered attacks on industry elites, the incentive to make him stumble or even cancel him completely grew stronger.
Right. And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend, not in jokes.
Longer for Wanda, who some say was angling for a TV syndicate development deal. Bringing Katt into that studio may have been her golden ticket, or depending on who you ask, the opening act in a carefully orchestrated downfall. They tried to kill me that same weekend. Not in jokes, and there is a darker layer. Nobody wants to say aloud. Yet everyone hints at vanishing evidence. Katt says crucial communications disappeared from Wanda's phone, And the digital breadcrumbs, the deleted texts, the emails that could show. Coordination or worse are gone. 3 sources, including a former comedy club promoter, say Wanda spent the weekend of the confrontation, scrubbing socials and backing up files, and one even alleges she called a tech-savvy cousin to make sure nothing. Embarrassing leaked Wanda never addressed it on air, citing legal reasons, and then abruptly left radio in January 2019 with no press conference, no farewell tour, just gone, which in Atlanta feels less like a graceful exit and more like how industries handle liabilities. Meanwhile, rumors keep swelling every few weeks from disgruntled ex-employees, comedians who were backstage, and producers whispering about unreleased security footage. Some claim a flash drive with unedited messages is held by a local club owner. Others say it is all smoke, while the real players keep pulling strings from behind velvet curtains in Los Angeles and New York. What is clear is that Katt has not let this die. Years after most stars would move on, he keeps naming. Wanda keeps digging and threatens legal action if the truth does not come out. But this
lady is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled.
Woman is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That is why she got canceled. And all the while, the fan base is split, some demanding that Katt apologize as he did after his Michael Jackson jokes. Others insisting he is owed an apology for what they see as an orchestrated hit job. Meanwhile, Wanda Smith has faded into radio silence, her ex-account dormant since 2020. Her Instagram reduced to sporadic promos for local gigs and birthday shoutouts. There is talk, completely unconfirmed, that she is facing legal trouble or that she is not free to speak because of industry NDAs tied to what happened after the roast. What makes this saga different is the way facts keep mutating into legend. Was it just a comedy beef that spun out of control? Or is this the most public chapter in a years-long campaign to bury a star who refused to play nice with the big boys? Those who have followed Katt know he never shied away from exposing what others whisper about in hotel bars. The trouble is, when you keep torching bridges, eventually someone will hand your enemies a match. So we are left combing archived footage, slow motion, playbacks of parking lot, confrontations, eyewitness accounts that do not quite line up, and
the world was okay with it because it was me. Had that happened to anyone else, the world went crazy when Will smacked.
The ever-present hum of speculation. Was the entire V103 roast an inside job, or is the real evidence still sitting on someone's encrypted hard drive waiting? For the right moment to resurface, the stakes are clear. The tension is only getting thicker, and the people who know the truth seem to be working overtime to keep it buried. The narrative swings away from the radio booth and settles on the parking lot. That September night, we are forced to confront the moment that sent shockwaves far beyond Atlanta's comedy scene. There it is, Lamora Sellers, Wanda Smith's husband, storming after Katt Williams, a gun glinting in his hand beneath harsh parking. Lot lights the footage released by TMZ and endlessly dissected by skeptics and loyalists does not just haunt Katt's fans, it leaves everyone with a question that will not fade. Was this the instinctive outburst of a husband pushed past his breaking point, or the calculated move of a man acting as an enforcer for interest far larger than a radio roast gone wrong? Sellers claimed the gun simply fell from his waistband as he chased Katt through the lot. But the surveillance tells a more unsettling story. You can see the urgency, the adrenaline. Sellers is not merely shouting, he is charging. He does not look like
Like all my enemies all look the same in the eyes, whether it's Faison, Wanda, Aries, Spears, they all look like...
Man, what you got against Wanda sight?
someone struggling with a wardrobe malfunction. He looks like a man with a mission, according to police reports. Sellers told officers. He never pointed the weapon at Katt, and Katt never filed charges, yet the visual evidence is enough to keep tongues wagging, and that is before you follow whispered tip-offs from local club workers who swear Sellers was not acting alone. One bartender says she overheard two men earlier in the night discussing teaching Katt a lesson. Was it idle talk? Or did someone in the shadows push Sellers to escalate from words to threats? As always, the official narrative leaves too many doors open, and the Story keeps folding back on itself, revealing more questions than answers. We have to remember the timing too.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
The comedy world in 2018 was a powder keg. Everyone on edge after years of social media call-outs, public fallouts, and the slow drip of scandals. Exposing old guard power players, Katt never tiptoed. He spent years tossing grenades into polite Hollywood conversation, calling out A-listers for alleged exploitation, throwing shade at untouchable icons, and walking the tightrope between industry. Darling and persona non grata, no wonder rumors began to swirl that the Wanda setup was more than a marital defense. 3 Atlanta bookers with long memories
I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
There was an agenda from LA that Wanda's camp quietly accepted guidance from executives. Fed up with Katt's on-air truth-telling, it would not be the first time a comedian paid the price for going off script in an industry that loves its secrets. And when people start rattling cages, the consequences can be severe. Katt himself has fueled these suspicions, never hiding his belief that he is a target in After the Wanda confrontation. He pointed to a clear pattern, comedians being made examples of after daring to challenge the narrative. He said, "Because I did not have that man go to jail and ruin that family." It creates a culture where it says, you can hurt these people, we should be protected. He connected his parking lot experience to the infamous Oscars slap and even to the violence against Dave Chappelle on stage. If Katt is right then, his feud with Wanda was never about jewelry or punchlines. It was about sending a warning of what happens when you refuse to play nice with power local promoters, radio staff, and even security guards at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Recall. The unease that weekend, a venue usually known as a safe haven for comics, suddenly felt tense.
Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory.
Hence, after the broadcast, one former security chief claims higher-ups told staff to look the other way if anything happened involving Wanda or her family. Why that kind of special treatment? That question always circles back to industry influence for those who have followed these stories for years. The Wanda and Katt saga fits a familiar pattern. Pressure builds. A star steps out of line and chaos erupts right on cue. What makes this even more chilling is the aftermath. Wanda was off radio within months. Her public appearances rare. Her social accounts so quiet, they raise suspicion. Some say she is laying low on legal advice, others hint she has been warned off speaking by those who once backed her, and a persistent rumor claims she signed NDAs so heavy they could silence a CIA agent. A rival comedian even said if Wanda ever revealed the real story, she would need a bodyguard of her own. The mystery around her disappearance only deepens with every unanswered question, and every silence feels like a coded message. Wanda's retreat from the public eye has only fueled more speculation, once a constant voice on Atlanta airwaves and a familiar face at local comedy spots. Her sudden disappearance set off alarm bells, not only for fans but across the entire entertainment grapevine. Her last wave of social media activity in late 2023 was nothing more than routine promos and community posts before everything went dark. That silence itself has become part of the story. Every dormant account, ignored inquiry, and canceled appearance is treated as a clue by those convinced her vanishing is no accident. Some former colleagues argue she simply chose privacy over infamy, but many believe the pressure, whether legal, emotional, or something far more shadowy, forced her into hiding. Theories swirl that her disappearance was not a decision, but a necessity. The kind of exile reserved for people who know too much.
Having seen some of my competitors and peers get on that same court and do a performance that involved my name. And so once 6 or 7 of you have made this same violation, it's my job as the king to show up and chastise thee. This is my job.
Too much or cross the wrong line industry. Veterans point out the chilling pattern one moment. Wanda is celebrating 2 decades of radio fame, and the next she is gone, leaving only rumors of legal trouble and unsigned contracts behind whispers of hush money warnings passed through intermediaries and rare fleeting sightings at family events or small Atlanta clubs paint a picture of a woman always moving, never settling as if living the consequences of a choice she never fully made, caught between survival and the fallout of a feud that spun out of control. The riddle remains, was Wanda running from guilt weighed down by a single moment that wrecked her career, or was she forced out by a machine, bigger than a morning show, one that decided silence was the safest outcome? Her absence has turned into a cipher, a haunting reminder that in comedy and celebrity, the cost of crossing the line is not always
all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
public disgrace. Sometimes it is erasure itself, and as the story pushes forward, her vanishing act lingers like a wound that refuses to heal, leaving us to wonder whether the truth will ever surface or remain just another secret buried deep in the concrete of Atlanta. Meanwhile, Katt's momentum has not slowed, if anything. The controversy has only given him more ammunition, and he is not wasting it. He has hinted at taking legal action, possibly suing Wanda or even her estate for orchestrating the setup and erasing key evidence. Legal analysts point out that there is precedent if texts or emails were deleted to obstruct an investigation.